In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to get your first $100,000. How we're going to raise our first $100,000 from the bank. There's multiple ways you can raise $100,000, but this is going to be a very specific way of how we're going to be doing this. And the reason why I'm showing you this particular way is because later on there's going to be other methods of how you're going to build on top of this. All right, so the first step we're going to do is we're going to make a person. This may sound odd, but that's what we gotta do. We gotta make a person. All right. So what is a person? A person is, as it defined here by the Congress, is an entity. It's a corporation. It's a company. It's a foundation. It's a firm, a partnership, an organization. If you didn't know, the city that you live in is a person. The county that you live in is a person. The state that you live in is a person, and also the country that you live in here is a person. The businesses that you patronize every day is also a person. So these are separate people or persons or entities that are on paper. They have all the same rights and everything that you have. The only difference between you and a person is that a person cannot have a baby. All right. So if that's what a person is, then what are you? You are a consumer, which is an individual. And there's a difference between a consumer, and I use the word consumer a lot because this is the legal term that's used for when you're talking about credit and you're talking about banks and different type of bank products and stuff like that. So you are defined as a consumer. All right. So how are we going to make this person? The first step is we want to visit our Secretary of State website, and you can go to this link here that I have here on the screen, and you can type that in if you don't know what your Secretary of State website is, and you can find your state, and it'll take you right to your Secretary of State website. So the first thing you want to do is you want to find a name for your person. You want to look a name up and make sure it's available. All right, and then before you register that person or that entity, you want to go to namecheck.com and just make sure that that name is available for websites and social media and email and other domains. All right, and then next thing we want to look at is a phone number. We need a phone number for our person. So you can go to Grasshopper, you can go to Call8, you can go to nextivia.com and get phone numbers for your person. So that person, they're going to need a phone number with an area code that's local to where that business was established or where that business is doing business. They're also going to need an 800 number, and they will need a fax number as well. You will not be using your personal cell phone number. You will not go add another line to your personal cell phone plan to use for this person. You will get a separate phone number because when banks run that phone number, they're going to be able to tell if it's linked to a consumer or if it's linked to a person. The business email address or the person email address is very important. You do not want to be using Ymail, Gmail, Yahoo, anything like that, Hotmail, none of that stuff. It needs to be name at the business name.com or info at businessname.com, right? That domain is very, very important. You can go on mynamedomain.com and go ahead and get you a domain for that email address. The address for your person or for this entity has to be a commercially zoned property. You do not want to use your personal address. It is a red flag when you're doing applications and applying for credit lines, loans, money, or whatever you're looking to do. Also, this is public information, so if you put your home address, it will show up, and anybody can go look up and show up at your house during business hours, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you do work from home or you have a side business or something like that you want to turn into a official business, and you have an office at home, that's fine. What do you want to do? You still want to register your business at a commercially zoned address. So you can just like you can rent office space or shared space, you can also rent a commercially zoned business address. It needs to be able to be Googled, and when you Google it and you look at the street view, you need to be able to see that it is a commercially zoned property, not a residential property. And then lastly, on that, it cannot be a PO box, a UPS store, a FedEx store, or something like that. All right. You want to pick your own SIC codes and NAICS codes. If you don't know what these are, the SIC code is a code that's developed by the government for tax purposes, and the NAICS code is something that is developed by the banking industry. These codes specifically narrow down exactly what your business does. If you do not pre-pick these codes when you fill in out applications, the lender or whoever is going to pick a code for you or what they think that you do. But these codes tell the bank exactly what industry you're in and narrows down exactly what you do. So it's best to pick your own and best to pick ones that are at low risk, so you have better potential of maximizing your funding. All right, then you want to get your EIN number. This is free. Go to irs.gov. You can search that and you can get your free EIN number. You can get that in the same day. And if you need assistance with all this stuff, setting all these different things up, you can go through inkfile.com, and they have a process where you can pay them to help you out, go through that process with you. All right. Business bank account. So I recommend national banks and regional banks. I know I hear people out here on TikTok and YouTube talking about maybe credit unions and small banks and stuff like that. Yes, it's good to have relationships with lending institutions if you're going to be borrowing with them and have a long-term borrow relationship. But national banks and regional banks have, as we talked about, how banks grow, how banks lend money, how they come up with their different tiers and stuff like that, and fractional reserves and the type of products that they make and the consumers and then the entities of persons that they serve. National banks and regional banks can offer you a lot more as far as in services and products, and as far as getting your hands on more money. Um, Wasting your time at a credit union is always going to use a personal guarantee for any product that you think that you're getting that's supposed to be a business product. It's still all based on a personal guarantee. You can never move out of or graduate from like going into corporate credit and going into business credit when you're dealing with credit unions, or you're dealing with these little small banks, because their products are designed around consumers, individuals, so you'll never be able to maximize or get the type of loans or credit lines or products that you can get from national banks or from regional banks. Next thing is you want to have online presence. You want to have a website. You can go to yourcompanyname.com, and you can get like templates. You can hire somebody on Fiverr or something like that to whip you up a quick website. It doesn't have to be super fancy or anything like that. Especially if you're uh, just doing this for the purpose of raising capital. You're creating this person for the purpose of maximize your potential of raising capital. And then you want to set up some social medias. Bankers, the more money you're going to ask for, the certain products you're going to go ask for, they're going to check that you have a website, but also going to check to see if you have any type of social media presence. You have an Instagram account, a business Instagram account set up, a Facebook page, business page set up, a Twitter set up, a LinkedIn set up that's telling, people can find you online. You're not just something just popped up out of thin air. All right. Um, this is going to be very important. Application data points. So these are going to pertain to like personal information. The name that you put on the application needs to match the name that is on your credit report. Also, the address that you put on needs to match the address that's on your credit report. If those things are different, those can be seen as a red flag. Um, your income is important. The income that it goes on to these applications, unless said otherwise, is stated income. It doesn't have to be exact numbers. It's stated in projected income, and also this income is also household income and not individual income. So household income is the income of everyone's income that is in that household. Everyone that's making money and bringing in money, whatever type of money it is, that income is included in this. This is household income. All right, and then when it comes down to if you rent or if you own, ideally banks are looking for stability, and people who own are more favorable than people who rent. So if you own, you just be more favorable and you look more stable. And also, if you own wherever you live, if you rent or own, how long you've been at that address. The longer you've been there for years, the longer you've been there, the better, the more stable you look. Banks want to be able to find you at any given moment if they need to contact you or send you a letter or something like that. Anything goes wrong, they want to feel confident that they can find you. All right, employed versus self-employed. Um, Banks prefer for these particular products that you are employed. They feel more comfortable with being employed. It's more predictable. They have more data on that. Self-employed people, the income is up and down. It fluctuates. There's so many different variables in that. If you are self-employed or have a business, you still want to uh, select that you are employed because you are employed in you are an employee of your business, and your employer is your business, and that's what you put down as for your business. Occupations, this stuff matters. Um, Banks know the average salaries and incomes and certain educational levels of how much money that you're going to be making. So your job title matters. The job title that you have on your application, it matters. It shows the bank that one, that you are making good money, as you have you're in some type of stable industry, or you have some type of stable role or stable job, and they don't think you're going to be in something that's going to disappear in the next couple of months after you're being approved for something. All right. All right, and then so these data points are going to be on the for the consumer or the business side. Um, just like they ask for your birth date on a personal credit application, they're going to ask for the formation date, which is the birth date of that individual, of that person that we created, right? And then the business name. Uh, you don't want a name that is going to be a high risk name. So and that has like the name of some type of high risk industry in it. So you can also just use your own name, your first two initials and last name, and add on some type of suffix to it, like a enterprise or a solution or a group or something like that. Um, and or if you have a business name, you can use that. You want to have your EIN number, which is again, which is equivalent to your social security number. The business address, again, which is going to be different and separate from your personal address. You're going to have your NAIC code, that is going to tell the lender exactly what your business does and what industry you're in, whether you're high risk or low risk. And then also the business income. And this is going to be, again, it's not going to be the exact amount of money that you have made. This is, even if you start like you're creating a new person, creating a new business, this is going to be projected income for that year. So what are you expecting to make for that year, right? And then estimated monthly spend. If you're estimated to only be spending, a couple $100 a month or a couple $1,000 a month, that is going to reflect in the limit that they're going to give you. So if you're expecting to be making a lot of money, you expect to be spending a lot of money on marketing, materials, sales processes, products, different things like that. All that needs to be ballparked into that monthly spend, because they're going to take that into account when it comes down to approving you. All right. So this here is going to be one of many, 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 many uh, ways of how you can raise $100,000. This particular sequence is how to get up to like 15 credit cards with the minimum amount of inquiries. All right, so understanding, knowing where banks pull from and how many credit cards they can give you, and which in the amount of time or time frame or windows that they offer you. I do have an ebook on this that you guys can pick up that goes more into depth on all these different things that I talked about. But this here is a sequence that has been used and it works. So you're going to have, Alliant Credit Union, and they have a Visa signature card that you're going to take a look at. And then you have American Express. You have the Platinum Charge Card, the Gold Business Charge Card, and then the Everyday Cash Preferred, and also the Hilton Aspire Business. And then and those are going to pull from Experian. And then on TransUnion, you're coming over to Barclays. You got the I think it was American Airlines Aviator card. They have a bunch of different cards on there, but look for the American Airlines Aviator card. And that's going to pull from Trans. You only can get one of those cards a day. With American Express, you can get multiple cards with one inquiry in the same day. And then with Alliant, you get one card, one inquiry in that day. Bank of America, you can get more than one card. I think you believe it get up to two cards with one inquiry in one day. So they have the Advantage Cash and also the Advantage Travel Business. So you can take a look at those. Capital One will pull all three credit reports, so they'll put an inquiry on all three credit report industries. For credit report agencies. And so with them, you can have up to three cards max. And some of their better cards is going to be the Venture X and the Savior. So there's a bunch of Ventures and a bunch of Savers, but you want to go with the Venture X and also the Savior, okay? And those are going to, again, so you want to save that application for last because again, they're going to pull all three. All right, and then Chase is typically the one you want to go first with. That one is going to be the Sapphire card and also the Cash Inc. Preferred. So the Sapphire Reserve is like their top of the line card. But if you do the Reserve or Preferred, typically the Reserve will give you higher limits, but the Preferred will also give you some pretty good limits as well. So Chase is typically where you want to go first, and then you can go to, or actually you can kind of break these up. So if you want to just do Experian credit cards first, you can do that, and then you can move over to Equifax cards, and then lastly you can do the TransUnion cards. But Capital One will be last. All right, so I'm sure you guys may have questions on this stuff. I'll give you ways to contact me. You can find me on Instagram. You can message me there if you have any other questions on this. But again, I do have some ebooks that break all this stuff down. You guys can get those. It has all the instructions on it and more information and more sequences of how you can get up to $100,000 in credit. But with this, you should actually get more than $100,000 if you do this right and you use the information that's in those ebooks as far as like data points for the application and how to navigate through that. All right, guys, good luck with that.